This is a journey into sound. A journey which along the way will bring to you new color, new dimension, new values, and a new experience.
Welcome to the G-Spot Podcast. I'm your guide, Katie Silcox, bringing you your weekly self-love soundbite. Join us for conversations around sex, spirit, and all things self-care. All things self-care. All things self-care.
This is a journey into sound.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
You are a G-Spot Podcast with Katie Silcox.
Good morning, beauties, or good afternoon, or good night. I don't know when you're listening to this. I'm outside. I have to do the podcast outside today. So if you hear some cars driving by or you hear the squeaky little birds in my yard, I hope you can just let that be a part of this experience together. And I'm so happy to be here with you. I want to talk about my current passion project, and I hope I can bring you into it. I hope I can shift your day today, and we're going to do it fast. Maybe not. We're going to do it fast and slow, which is the best way to do everything. So our podcast today is brought to you by my favorite girls out there. You know them. You love them. It's ApotheKary. ApotheKary.co. You guys, I made something on their website called the Better Pre-Workout Pudding. And you add the chill the F out, which is, I love their names. And I made it the other day. I it's hot here in Virginia, and I made it with a frozen banana. I know, not super Ayurvedic, but you gotta break the rules every now and then. Plus, in the summer, I think that's the time we can let ourselves have those frozen blueberries and frozen smoothies. I feel like if the Ayurveda founders of old lived in the South, in the dirty South, and they had a Vitamix, I feel like, and they had freezers, I feel like they would allow us some blueberries from the freezer. Anyways, you guys, we're going to put the link to this in the show notes. ApotheKary is one of my favorite companies for Ayurveda-inspired herbs, and they have other herbs that are not Ayurvedic, but are definitely within the framework. You're going to take a banana. You can do it frozen. I give you permission. It's summer. You're going to take a teaspoon of the ApotheKary Chill the F Out powder, 2 tablespoons of coconut water, and a tablespoon of cacao nibs. And you're just going to blend that up. You can do it in a bowl if you're using a regular banana, or like I did, I put it in the Vitamix and throw a little cacao nibs on it. Eat it an hour before your workout, and that's going to give you some awesome results because it's full of adaptogens. As you know, adaptogens adapt to what your body needs, and it's got ashwagandha in it, a little raw cacao. Definitely check them out. We're going to put a link to that recipe and their website in the show notes. Get your adaptogens on. The adaptogens are the queen healers of the Ayurvedic herbal world. So what are we doing today, you guys? We are doing a quick experience together. You may be listening to this in the car. You can still do it. You may be listening to this while you're taking care of your kids. You can still do it. That's the beauty of Tantra, you guys. That's the amazing thing about Tantric meditation. Ya can do it anywhere. And that's the point. This is for regular humans. This is for people that want to be alive and joyful and freaking healthy on this planet. The 5 senses, y'all. Ayurveda says there's an extra sense. It's your mind. And we talk about the purification of the 5 senses in Ayurvedic medicine as being, 5 senses therapy, as being this super important part of Ayurveda. And when I learned Ayurveda, it was like, if you're a Pitta, you're going to want to wear blue clothing, or you're going to want to put on these creepy blue glasses where you see everything blue. the five senses were all about, a little bit, I should say, about like denial, like, oh, purification. We want the senses to be as pure as possible. And what I'm realizing as I've studied more and more is that actually, no, the five senses is about really being able to enter into the experience of enjoyment of positive, life-affirming, non-addictive, healthy sensory stimulation, sensory experience. And so you can do it right now. As Alicia said in last week's podcast, you can put your hands on the wheel of your car and sense the wheel of your car. How many times do we sense the wheel of our car? We don't. We're basically in a trance when we drive. We're in a freeze state. Whenever you enter into daydreaming, whenever you enter into thinking that involves imagining image, in the neurophysiology, you're actually in freeze, which isn't good or bad. It's just you're in freeze. And so how to really be with the experience of being alive, that's really what this whole system's about. The founder of Aikido, O-sensei Morihei Ueshiba, maybe I'm saying that right, I tried, said the six senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. He spoke of prana, chi, ki, as that which enlivens the five senses and leads to harmonizing with the movement of the universe, which Morihei Ueshiba said the movement of the universe. Guess what he said it is, you guys? Woo, woo, love. OMG, that's why we call our subscription program the Lineage of Love, because OMG, when you start to use your five senses, those gateways, what you realize is that there is something behind them that is the love flow. And I can tell you that. I can tell you what good old Sensei Morihei says. I can tell you what the Tantrics say. The system of Sri Vidya says that the underlying nature of the universe is an unending wave of beauty and delight. Isn't that beautiful? We can talk about Taoism. The underlying nature of the universe is this wu wei, right? This flow that is benign, loving. We can talk about what Jesus Christ says. Jesus Christ, I love that guy. I love the living Christ in myself and you. And that this world is this emanation of light and love. And on and on and on. We can talk about what all the masters say, and what they say is, I know you may not feel it right now because we're in that trap of what's wrong. We're in that trap of our ego, which our ego is a really great thing if we're using it the right way, but it's not your fault. So don't feel guilty about what I'm about to say, but all of us have been raised in some cray-cray town. We've been raised in a system, and many of us in families where we didn't get that lesson of right now I am looking at the moon who is just beginning to wane. And what a gift to wake up to moon and sun. The sun's on the horizon, she's rising, the moon is to my right, and there's a tree that I'm madly in love with that sprouts up through the front part of my horizontal vision. And to my right, there's a crepe myrtle. There's actually two of them. And she used to be sprouting these lavender flowers. And guess what happened, you guys? She switched it up on me. And she turned those lavender flowers into white flowers. And then there's a crepe myrtle that's smaller in front of her, and she's ridiculously hot pink. And let me tell you what, I would not have known all these things, you guys, if I hadn't sat out here day after day after day looking at these plants and just saying to them, I see you.
Hi there, this is Amaury, Program Manager at Shakti School with a quick update. If you know you're ready to go deep and spend a year learning with us, the next session of Ayurveda School starts in January, and the deadline for registration is December 31st. Getting back into the swing of learning can be a big commitment, but it's also the best catalyst for change and evolution. If Katie and I could have every woman do at least level 1 of Ayurveda School, we would. It's a year-long program that will both nurture and challenge you in the best way. It's everything we should have learned as beings with bodies and psyches that we were never taught in school. If you want to have a chat with me about whether this program is right for you, you can put a free call directly on my calendar at calendly.com/Shakti School /free coaching call. That's calendly.com/Shakti School /free coaching call. And will also put that link in the show notes. Have a beautiful day, sisters. Now back to the episode.
One of the greatest accomplishments of my life is this front porch. And being able to actually see my garden. And so what I'm challenging you to do right now, today, is to polish your heart. Gather your attention. Make the incredibly brave and warrior-like choice to say fuck you to the what's wrong attention, as my favorite teacher Steve Hoskinson says. Just, I love you, it's cool, what's wrong attention, I know you serve me sometimes, but you have taken over. And now I'm going to go into the what's right now, right here attention. Gather your attention right now. Let it enliven your senses. Choose one. It could be the sense of sight, right now. It doesn't matter where you are. Gather it. See what is here right now. Name it. And to be very Tantrik this afternoon, wherever it is you find yourself, add to it a sense of thank you, of warmth, of compassion, of, dare I say, love. What does it do to your body to put your hand on the steering wheel and say, I know this is weird, but steering wheel, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking me across town and getting me to where I need to go. Thank you, comfortable chair, for holding me so sweetly, so softly, so sturdily. Polish your heart. Right now, wherever you find yourself. Are you at Trader Joe's? If one of you's at Trader Joe's, I'm going to freak out. You got to write us and tell us, I was the girl at Trader Joe's. Any grocery store will do. Are you at Whole Foods? Are you at Piggly Wiggly if you're down south? If you're at the grocery store and you're listening to this, you need to write us and tell us, that was me. And you can write us at info@katiesilcox.com or info@theshaktischool.com. Are you the grocery store goddess? If you are, right now I want you to turn your buggy around and go right to the produce section. And I want you to find the most delectable piece of fruit, and I want you to hold it in your hand, and I want you to see the way that a cantaloupe or a blueberry or a lemon or a slab of ginger, I want you to see the way that that piece of fruit is an absolute miracle. Watch it. If you stare at a piece of fruit for more than 30 seconds, you're going to start to see why, when you're tantric, you don't need psychedelics. And feel the way when we appreciate, the body starts to come online in a new way. What do you notice in your body when you appreciate, when you polish the heart? This sensei, he said that. He said, polish the heart. I love this. Polish the heart. Free the 6 senses and let them function without obstruction. What does that mean? It means Can I observe the moon without leaving to the gateway of thought? Can I observe the trees in my yard for just a little longer without being brought into that what's wrong thought form? What I gotta do today, all my stresses and worries. I see you out there. I know you're listening to the podcast. You're saying, I ain't got time for this. I know you because I'm just like you. But when I linger a little longer, I start to actually be able to receive the beauty in my life, polish the heart, free the six senses, and let them function without obstruction. And guess what he says? And your entire body will glow. Polish the heart, free the six senses, and let them function without obstruction, and your entire body will glow. How about that, girlfriend? We all want this glowing body, but we don't know how to get it. And it's not the latest diet, and it's not getting the perfect job, and it's not getting the perfect apartment. It's this subtle freedom in the six senses. So what are you going to pay attention to today? What are you going to appreciate for just a minute or two? And can you do that throughout the day? We would love to hear about it. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook and post. We'll give a little shout out to today's podcast. And we'd love to hear about what you have fallen in love with through these gateways of the senses. We'd love to hear about how your body is lighting up like a little glow stick. And for me this morning, it's the moon, it's the crepe myrtle, and guess what else it is? It's you. It's you. It's you and me in this funky relationship that we have through the gateway of the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. As always, if you love this podcast, please subscribe. And if today's podcast on polishing the heart meant something to you, and you think that someone else out there might need it, share it with them. And that's a great way that we get to build the podcast and continue to offer you great free content. Also, you guys, heads up, Level 1 Ayurveda School is filling up. And I know there's so many out there, because you guys have told us, that are like, I'm definitely doing Ayurveda school. If you are that woman, you need to sign up soon, because we're filling up, and we do only have a limited amount of seats for 2020, and they are filling up fast. So get in Ayurveda school, and we've got the link, as always, in the show notes. I can't wait to hear about how you're polishing your heart and lighting up your body. It's been great to be with you guys, and we'll see you in next week's podcast.
फूटे फूल अपन सुखे